How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another week of 2 Point
You got to do
Conversion
that again. That was
and our
boring.
last show of the semester.
You got to be like this. Ready? Welcome back, everybody, to 2 Point Conversion. Last week of the semester, last week of the podcast radio show.
There we go. Nico's bringing the energy today. Sorry, I got a lot on my mind for finals and last week of classes, but I'm ready to get into it. I was super upset we missed last week, Nico. So much going on.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well, so we
much
just
sports
took it
has been
off.
going on. We're gonna crush it today. We'll give you a good hour of sports talk for all you New York fans out there. I'm just praying George doesn't hop on because he's a big time Heat fan, and
Is
he was
he?
talking so
Why?
much smack. He's from Miami.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, he's from Boca, but he likes to say
it's
Miami.
it's the same.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so
South
excited,
Florida.
dude. You want to jump into this Giants draft class first, or anything more pressing on your mind? Or are you ready to get into this Giants draft?
Yeah,
class?
I just want my condolences to the Islanders 2023 season. And the Rangers play tonight. I don't want to talk about
Game
it.
7 tonight. Yeah, maybe
We're good?
if we have time at the end to get into it. But Islanders go out in 6. They had a good last stand. They made it interesting. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean we forced the game 6, hoping to force a game 7, just didn't work out.
I will say though,
we weren't good enough.
The Islanders fans that I follow on Instagram though were there supporting until the very end. Borelli's restaurant, Nico
packed.
was popping off.
Yeah.
So I'm a new Islanders fan now.
Yeah,
Officially an Islanders fan.
Welcome to the group.
I'm ready. I got to get out there to UBS next season. We're gonna send it. But
oh yeah, we're definitely pulling up to some games.
Oh, for sure. You want to jump into this Giants draft class?
Yeah, and
I'm
you
actually wrote some nice stuff here. So
it kind of went quietly, and I enjoy it. I really know. Last year, a lot of people said Joe Schoen had it was kind of like not a great draft class, but not a terrible one at that. Just, Kayvon was good. That's kind of it.
Evan Neal was okay.
Evan Neal's trash.
But no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, look how Andrew Thomas has developed. He's one of the best.
Well, we have to absolutely. You have to see and especially with tackles, you have to see that second year development, and that should be a jump. And if he can't make that jump, then we start looking at other options.
Andrew Thomas took 2-3 years to get to where he's at. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely not giving up on Evan Neal. I think he's a talented big guy. Kayvon, I think he's only going to get better. And then Wandell last year got injured, but I'm excited to see what we're going to get.
I guess the only critique you could say about Joe Schoen's his first year draft class is that there was injuries. Like Kayvon started the year injured, Wandell finished it injured, like ACL, which is a huge thing.
But me personally, I would not put any of that blame on a GM. Injuries are like freak accidents. You never know what's going to happen. Anyone could get injured at any time.
Yeah, but I guess it's just like
I guess you want to stay away from the injury-prone guys.
Yeah, like I think that's what I think that was the whole critique about it. It was like Kayvon did get hurt in college. Like Wandell, I think, got hurt in college too. Like that.
That's fair, yeah.
He wants he said that whole thing about smart, tough, dependable, like that, and dependable. That last one is kind of we haven't seen that so far with people getting hurt, especially in that first draft class. But this draft class actually makes me excited. Like
definitely,
it went quiet just because we didn't have like a crazy high pick. Like
first time in a long time.
Yeah, first time in a long time
where we weren't picking in the top 10, top 5 even. So
and it could have been a lot better. But I still give it like an A+ draft class, like A+ draft class. We got some great players and some steals. Like
I agree.
We'll talk about it after. Like my number one favorite pick that is a steal. We'll talk about it in a second. But drafting, I think 24th, it was so unfortunate. Four wide receivers right before the Giants pick. Yeah, it's the first time ever in NFL history that 4 receivers go back to back.
And what was crazy, I don't think a receiver was even taken yet.
No,
and then 4 go right off the board.
As soon as because we were getting to like the 20th pick, and I was like, all right, we're in like 5 picks.
Nico, when we got to 20, I think I texted you, Nico, there's all the receivers that I like and all the corners that I like are still there.
Like we're talking about like Jackson Smith and Ajigba. You're talking about Quentin John. Like they're players who we could like. I was like, oh my, like they're gonna be a giant. And then 1 pick went down. There goes Jackson Smith Ajigba, and there goes Quentin. And then who got taken after that?
Zay Flowers
got taken,
and then
Jordan Addison got taken.
Who I personally I liked. My favorites were Zay Flowers and Jackson Smith.
JSN, Jackson Smith and Najigba is literally like he was mine. Like the whole thing about. I think that the whole thing about this season, laying out like we need a receiver. We did make some receiver moves in the offseason, but we make up for it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after, but we make up for it. So instead of taking a receiver, we trade up one spot. So I guess they were kind of worried. We ended up taking cornerback Deonte Banks. Great choice out of Maryland.
I really like the guy. Yeah, I do.
6 foot, 197 pounds. He's the 5th best corner that I think ESPN had him ranked. He runs a 4.3 40. And the one thing I remember seeing, especially like when people were analyzing him before the draft, he is the most athletic player that got taken in the first round. I would have to say, like, he's quick, he's fast, he's big,
and he's got the size.
He's got the absolutely got the size. Maybe not the height, like 6 foot, but he is 197.
Well, what's funny was they had him listed at a bunch of different things, and then at the Giants introductory press conference, he himself said he's 6'1".
Yeah, 6'1".
So
they had him
who
6'2",
knows? I mean,
6 foot.
with cleats on though, he's easily 6'1",
6'2". Yeah, and with cleats, I remember ESPN saying it was 6'2", and then I saw it again at 6 foot and then 6'1".
Literally same thing. CBS had him at 6 foot and ESPN had him at 6'1". So I don't know, but
he's around that area. But the weight is the big, like
he could tackle
197. I was watching his highlights, watching his tape. He's a good. I think he's a very good corner in coverage, but in the run game, which we also need help about. Like, he was physical. Like, he was getting to those. He was destroying the run blockers and he was making tackles. He's a physical player, very, very athletic. And I kind of saw this after the draft. I started getting more excited about him. But I remember I was texting you during the draft. I was tight. I wanted Joey Porter Jr., but like, he didn't get taken. I think he got taken the first pick of the second round.
Yeah.
By the Steelers, just like his dad did. But I like the pick.
I do. I really like the pick. And what I like the most about him, Nico, is he played some of the most press man corner of any cornerback in this draft. That was the defense that Maryland ran, and that's what Wink likes to run.
Yeah,
when he sends a blitz, he's going to leave the corners in man coverage, and I think that's perfect. Deonte Banks said in his press conference, like, I like that. That's the system that I'm used to. That's what I've gotten good at. So he's going to fit in perfectly in this defensive system, and I'm just so excited to see what he could do. We got Adoree' on one side, Deonte Banks on the other side, Cordell Flott, who a lot of people.
I'm glad you brought that up.
He's coming up.
I'm glad you brought that up about Cordell Flott, because I remember seeing the day of the draft or the day after the draft that Adoree's, this is his last year on contract. They might be keying on
the younger guys.
The younger guys moving on. Cordell Flott and Deonte Banks as those two corners, because Cordell Flott, he did a very good job in I think it was the last game of the season against the Eagles.
When we had our backups.
When we had our backups, and he did a very good job in actually like putting up a fight. And I think he pretty much shut down Devontae Smith, if I remember correctly. He was in the slot.
In limited moments, he really showed out. But what does that tell me, Nico? That tells us that he's always prepared. He's waiting for his moment. And that's what you want to see from these young guys. Obviously, Deonte Banks being the first-round draft pick, he'll probably see more playing time, but don't count Cordell out.
I think without a doubt, with everything that has happened in the offseason, especially losing key guys on defense like Julian Love, like safety, I know he's a safety, but I think we see Deonte Banks playing as a full-time starter at the beginning of the season. I think he moves.
Surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he moves into that spot right next to Adoree' for the time being, and maybe next season Adoree's out, Deonte moves over, Cordell.
No, he's an impressive young man. If you haven't checked it out yet, get on YouTube and watch his introductory press conference. He's got the thickest Baltimore accent of all time, and it's funny. It's good to hear. He's like a nice kid, so I'm very excited about him. Pick 2, Nico. Immediate reaction to that? What were you thinking?
So pick 2. We're gonna wait for the big one for last, the one I'm super excited about, which is our third pick. But second pick, 57th in the draft, round 2, we got John Michael Schmidt, the most like lineman name I can ever think of. I love it.
I'm John Michael.
You're John Michael. All right.
I was hyped when we got
JM.
him.
There you go.
I was hyped when we got him.
So he's 6'4", 304.
That's a big body.
Second ranked center, and apparently, again, like we're saying, he fits the scheme. He's a big. I mean, we talked about last season and the season before that, where we're taking Nick Gates, who is a guard, and moving him to center so he could snap the ball. You're taking other players who aren't really centers and moving and converting them to center.
Same thing.
John Feliciano, moving him because we don't really have someone who could snap the ball. This is a through and through center.
I think Bren Bredeson was the only guy who was actually a center.
Brent Bredeson.
Yeah, he was the only guy that I think was actually came up as a center.
But I think what they're going to do is, again, like this is another player who I think fits it right into the lineup. Immediate starter. He's going to be our center. They'll move Bredeson to guard, and obviously we lost Nick Gates, so we don't have him anymore. He's on the Commanders. But what I was reading about his draft class, like summary, he's able to move laterally. He's quick. He's a great center. He snaps the ball very fast, I remember seeing. So like Daniel Jones is going to have a little bit of a window to like figure that out, but they'll figure it out in the offseason. And he's a big boy, 6'4", 304, big guy. It's good that we have Daniel Jones who's 6'5" behind him.
Yeah.
But 304, he's a big body. He's fast. Maybe not as quick as we see like Andrew Thomas, because Andrew Thomas is a freak athlete. But
as a center, you don't have to be as a quick. Center. It's a little more mental. But let me tell you what I like about this guy, Nico. He's a little bit older. He's 24.
Yeah.
So he's a little more mature. I think he'll fit.
You could say he was a college veteran.
Yeah, he was a college veteran. And then like I like kind of the intangible stuff about him. He's a 4-year starter, captain on a Minnesota team. You got to be gritty to play football up in the cold there. You're playing some really tough Big Ten defenses. I mean, you're seeing Iowa. You're seeing Wisconsin. You're seeing Ohio State. You're seeing all these tough defenses, really, really strong defenses. And you're a 4-year starter. You're a captain. You have what it takes. Let's go, John Michael.
Yeah, I mean,
let's get in there, man.
I don't know if you have watched any of his stuff yet, but he is physical. Like this guy, we talk about bull rushing on the defensive side, but if something that we've struggled with is that running offense, especially with Saquon behind. Like to make those gaps, we always seem to have a problem. But
it was better last year. But didn't you feel like the whole season it was just
there's something missing.
Yeah.
If you look at teams like the 49ers who just there's 10 feet gaps in between their guards.
The Eagles last year, their line was just winning.
We haven't Eagles had just got 10 times better.
We haven't had that. I feel like since we had Pugh, Snee, those guys from the old Eli Manning days.
It's been a while, and I think now that's what they're trying to do. They're bringing that. I mean, Buffalo, Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll in Buffalo didn't really focus on running back as much, just because Josh Allen and their Stephon Diggs and everything like that. Yeah. But now they have a running back talent in Saquon Barkley, and they're like, all right, let's build a front line that can protect him. And this guy, he's physical. I'm watching him. Yeah. He's an animal. We got 2 animals. Yeah. Deonte Banks is an animal. And on the offensive side, John Michael Schmidt, also an animal. He'll bull rush. He's good on the run. I think he was one of the best in pass protection.
That's awesome.
In the entire league.
That's so huge. Yeah, we need that.
I think he has his athleticism score, I remember on the combine, was like an 85, which was like the 4th best in centers, which is great.
You're talking about Joe Schoen for a second. Real quick, let me touch on this. Like, since he's been a GM, we've had 3 picks or 4 picks in the top 70 or 60, and he's used 3 of them on offensive linemen. So where he's trying to build, where he's using these picks in the draft capital.
I mean, we saw this with what's his name? Before Joe Schoen came in, they were trying to build that offense, and they were trying to build that offensive line, especially, but we never saw it. Like, you talk about players like Will Hernandez, and like those were picks, but it never fulfilled.
Yeah,
like they were great talents, but they never panned out, which it
was my
sucked.
favorite. Eric Flowers.
I hate Eric Flowers. I think he was absolutely terrible.
He can't play tackle. Let's try him at guard. Oh, he can't play guard either.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 years, just nothing.
I mean, talk about terrible drafting, but I'm really excited for this year. Number 1, I'm so excited. It went so under the radar because I was like, we need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver. The big names go off the board. This guy is a sleeper. Like, what happened? I understand he's not big, but
I don't know how he fell this far to us.
Number 73 pick out of Tennessee, Jalen Hyatt. The guy's 6 foot 184. Smaller. He just put on 30 pounds of muscle in the offseason. When he was playing at Tennessee, he was working at 154. He's 184 now. I think he put on 30 pounds of muscle, and it looks like muscle. He looks like a bigger dude now. 7th wide receiver in the draft ranked. We got him at pick 73, which is very big. First team all SEC. He was a unanimous All-American. He won the Fred Belkanoff Award, right? Which is most outstanding quarterback. It's by an outside, like
Yeah,
not by the
yeah,
league.
no, those are impressive. And
It's an impressive
did you see
award.
previously who won those awards?
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, so the Fred Belkanoff Award.
Impressive names.
Fred Belkanoff Award, he won also, which is the most outstanding wide receiver in all of college football. And like you were saying, those names that like associate with it.
Just in the past couple years, Nico, it's been so impressive.
I'm gonna try
and those
to read
guys
it out
have
right
really
now.
panned out in the NFL. So, like, if that doesn't tell you something, how did we get this guy at 74?
You know, I think he was
73. Sorry.
We talk about players who like to be here, and you know, Kadarius Toney. I don't know about him. You know, why am I forgetting his name? I threw him out of my memory.
A receiver you're talking
Yeah.
about? That Gettleman drafted?
Yeah. Not drafted, signed. Well, I don't know why I'm
Kenny
Galladay. Gone. Like
the new era now.
They look these three players especially. You're seeing I think Deonte Banks was at Maryland's scrimmage last week or right after the draft wearing the Giants stuff already. Day one wearing Giants stuff, like repping Giants already. I'm reading out. Okay, so part of this Fred I think it's a Belkanoff Award.
Like that, yeah.
So we got Jalen Hyatt, right, who just got drafted by the Giants. 2021, Jordan Addison. 2020, Devontae Smith. 2019, Jamar Chase, Jerry Jeudy, and then James Washington, Dede Westbrook, Corey Coleman, Amari Cooper, Brendan Cooks,
very
Golden
names.
Tate, Michael Crabtree, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitz.
Yeah, he joins in a very impressive group. I mean, we don't want to pile the pressure on this guy just yet, Nico, but when your name is mentioned in the same category as those names,
97 Randy Moss. These are we're looking at
best wide receiver in the whole damn country.
And he fell to 73, where, you know, all those big names like Jackson Smith and Jigba, you know, they're big players. He's a smaller player. He's fast. We were seeing comparisons. I don't know if you saw it on draft day to like Tyreek Hill. Like he's small, like he's a little bit taller than him, but he's quick.
Yeah.
I forgot what his 4.4 is, but I'm super excited to see him play.
I know he was playing against some really good SEC defenses all year. He was burning them. 5-touchdown game against Alabama.
It was 4-4.
A 5-touchdown game against Alabama on Nick Saban.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, I mean,
that's crazy. That's unheard of. Nick Saban was ripping up his corners and his safeties for that. And how many Alabama corners and safeties go in the first round? And he dropped 5 touchdowns on them. Nico, what I loved about this draft, and I'm a big mock draft guy. Once the Giants got eliminated, once the Super Bowl happened, I'm looking at the mock drafts. I'm reading all of them.
Oh, I'm so excited. We got a comment up there. I just saw. It says "Go Cats."
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
But so I'm looking every week. I'm reading all the ones that they got. I love the mock draft. I love watching highlights on YouTube. Right, Nico. At one point in time, like over the past couple months, all 3 of these guys that you just talked about were all projected to go to the Giants at that number 25 pick.
Yeah.
We got all 3 of them across 70 up to 73.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy. Joe Schoen knew what he wanted. He was patient. Little trades up and down here and there, but not at the expense of the draft class. We filled a bunch of needs, got a lot of good guys. I'm excited. Another
Listen, I'm super excited about what happened, like about how it turned out. You know, I was like, who is John Michael Schmidt? Like, you know, because I don't really follow
the interior O lineman. Noise.
But like apparently, like looking at his draft class, looking at his ranking, looking at his summary, I'm like, all right, this guy's like he's a baller. Like he's I love seeing that. Like you want someone on your offensive line that's an animal. Like he's gonna fight. You got Andrew Thomas there. Evan Neal's got to work out some stuff. If John Michael Schmidt, can we call him like JMS or something like Schmidt? I'm just gonna call him Schmidt.
Yeah.
But it's
that's fine.
Schmidt, if he can show out in the first season and perform, sign me up. I'm super excited for what's going on. Especially
we got to figure out what's going on with Saquon though. I mean, extension talks.
I think, you know, the draft came and gone. We didn't deal him off. We didn't do anything. Nothing came. I think that he's just going to take it and he's going to take the tag and just run with it this year.
Tag, yeah. I hope so.
And if he has a good season, I think we re-sign him. You know, something that really threw me off, and I want your take because I think we only have to talk about the Knicks after. I want your take on it. Like, what kind of threw me off this offseason was the way Daniel Jones and Saquon kind of approached their contracts. Like I don't know.
How so?
I feel like they did it in kind of a way that I wasn't expecting. Like Daniel Jones asking for so much money and being resentful. Like I feel like that wasn't him. And I understand that happens in contract talks, but I feel like that was so different. And especially Saquon, like being really upset, like about everything happened. Like, what do you think about that?
So yeah, so Daniel Jones is like, as any Giant fan knows, he's a very quiet guy. He's not on social media, doesn't say anything crazy in the press conferences. Very calm, very collected dude. Even on the field, he doesn't show a lot of emotion. He's locked in, does his job. But this year, I think he knew and his agents knew the bargaining power that he had. We didn't have a backup to take his spot. There was no one next up. Tyrod Taylor is not a viable option at starter. I'm sorry, he's not. So he knew the power that he had, and he had just won a playoff game, right? Beat the Vikings in Minnesota. And no one really held the Eagles' loss against them. I mean, people forget about, like, we got stomped.
Yeah, no, we
got absolutely
I
stomped.
mean, they did go to the Super Bowl. They lost.
They
to
did,
Patrick
and they
Mahomes,
were a fantastic team and a fantastic roster. And what's scary, Nico, is they only got better.
I see.
Oh,
everyone
they
keeps saying
did,
that. Like,
though.
I
They
understand.
just had another A draft.
I
Nico.
understand they had a great draft because for some reason they had the 10th pick, which is absolutely ridiculous. But
Who gave them that pick again?
I think the Bears.
No, it was the Saints. I
don't
even. Who did the Saints even get? Like what? Where?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. I just think that it's ridiculous. But
yeah, I know. I hear you.
It's just frustrating. I know they got DeAndre Swift too.
Jalen Carter, DeAndre Swift, and Nolan Smith.
I know, but we talked about at the end of the season, they lost a bunch of players too. Like
they lost Javon, they lost the safety. But man, the core is still there. They extended Jalen Hurts. And it's a good time to bring up Jalen Hurts.
They lost Miles Sanders, but they replaced him, right?
Look at Daniel Jones' contract that we signed him at the start of the offseason. $40 million. Everyone freaked out. Oh my God.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, 52, whatever it is.
51.
51.
Lamar, 50. Or no, maybe Jalen's at 50 and Lamar's at 51.
I think Jalen Hurts is at 51 and a half, if I'm not.
Okay. Jalen, 51 and a half. Lamar, 51 or something plus. Joe Burrow, Herbert, and Tua are all signing next year. Burrow's going to get more than both of them because he's been to a Super Bowl and AFC championships. Burrow's going to be getting near 60.
Listen,
Herbert's going to be getting near 50.
said this. No one listened to me.
Tua's going to be getting 40 plus.
No one listened to me during the negotiations and eventually the signing. This is what the QB class is going to look like. Yeah. This is what the QB market is going to look like from now on. We saw it over time. Markets changed. The running back market right now is almost non-existent. And it used to be much higher than it is now. It's almost non-existent because running backs are dispendable. But quarterbacks, they're on the rise, especially when you have like Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs now. Like he's paid so much because he is the Chiefs. The only thing, and I want to talk about it, we didn't talk about it because obviously everyone knows that Aaron
Real quick before
Aaron
don't switch topics though because I have
go.
Yes, we didn't even get into that.
Yeah, go.
Okay, this just popped into my head. We're talking about money here. We're talking about all that. We're not GMs. I don't know all the details of everything. But Nico, what do you need to see from Daniel Jones this season for him to be worth the $40 million?
Something uncharacteristic. I need a 3,000-yard season. Like I need a, whether it being 3,000 yards, 2,000 yards, or more than 15 touchdowns.
It's got to be more than 15
I feel
touchdowns.
I understand. Like we get it as fans who like him, like because there's haters on him. We understand as fans who like him. I understand how much he means to the team, and like he does contribute, and he didn't before, but now he's starting to, especially last season. The numbers have to back. Like I need the numbers to back it up now. If the numbers don't start backing it up, in 2 years, let's take his option and just buy him out.
So what I was thinking was when I phrased that question, I wasn't thinking in terms of stats, but you do bring up a good point.
But that's all I'm saying. Like I understand. Last season we saw what we wanted to see: less turnovers, keeping the ball safe, smart throws. He led this team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now I just want to see it statistically.
You know what I need to see from him? Not so much concerned with statistics. He's getting the same money as Dak Prescott. I need to see the Giants finish better in the standings than the Cowboys. I don't know yet. I don't think we're there yet at the Eagles level. You never know what could happen. But I think I need to see at the end of the year, Nico, I need the NFC East to look like this. Eagles, okay, win I don't want this, but this is being realistic. Eagles win the division, first wild card, second place of the division, New York Giants. That would make me, Daniel, you're worth the money. They're putting the pieces around you, and you just got paid $40 million a year. Daniel, I need to be second in that division. I need another playoff spot.
I'm kind of hesitant to say that just because a lot of people and a lot of insiders are like, when I was reading about it before, they see a collapse again this year. They see us not making the playoffs.
The Giants?
Yeah. Which I find it hard to believe because I do think we're a good team, and I think Dallas did get worse. And I think whoever is in that wild card spot probably comes from either the East, either the East, or I'm trying to think of
either the East, or I think the Lions team got really good.
Probably
the Vikings up there in the North. I don't think the Bears are there yet. I think the Packers also regressed, but that Lions team with Dan Campbell, they started off slow, but man, did they finish strong. They made a
I probably see
hell of a
the NFC wild. Like I really do think that. I don't.
You got the NFC West. We didn't even talk about Seattle. What a draft they had.
Yeah,
the
they 49ers had a good
draft. Can never count them out.
They had a good draft, but I feel like the 49ers, especially, like the 49ers might be really good.
I don't think the Cardinals make the playoffs.
I don't think the Cardinals.
Rams, though, with Stafford healthy, could they Cooper Kupp healthy?
I don't think so.
No.
I think last season was such a kick to the entire organization.
Everyone was hurt, though. Everyone was injured.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to, like, people are starting to lose faith in Sean McVay's ways, and like,
I know he almost took a TV deal. It
like
was crazy,
that,
yeah.
which is kind of, I'm like, all right, so like something's going on over there. I think the Panthers might be.
Here's my take on the Rams. I do still like Sean McVay. I do still like Matthew Stafford. I like Cooper Kupp. I mean,
hey, they just drafted Stetson Bennett. Like, I mean,
in the 4th round.
I know, but like, who knows? Like, the guy can lead a team. I guess he did it in college, but
with the most stacked defense in the country.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but hear me out. He
was also offensively.
Here's my take
loaded.
about the Rams. They are just stuck in a weird cycle right now because every time they had a good season for the past 5 years, another team out there would steal his assistant. And yet, year after year, he would promote someone, have a great year. Brandon Staley was the defensive coordinator, head coach of the Chargers.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator, head coach of the Vikings. What was his name? I forget his name, but he took over the Vikings from.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, you got to say.
Yes.
So he's just stuck in a weird place right now. And I don't even want to point fingers at his assistants, but that's what happens when every guy and their backup that you've brought up gets hired somewhere else.
Yeah. And especially they sold out for a Super Bowl. We know that. Like, they spent a lot of money on
everything.
They spent everything on a Super Bowl. So like, I really don't see them having a bounce back. Like, they may bounce back a little bit, but I don't know. There's a lot of good teams now, and I don't think they fit into that fold anymore. Especially everything that happened. Like, I don't know. I see them phasing out.
But for me, back to the original topic we were talking about, for Daniel Jones to be worth that $40 million, he's got to beat Dallas. We gotta be ahead.
Absolutely.
Of Dallas
I feel like the one thing that we don't understand, the one thing that we take, I forgot who took it. I think the Eagles took another rusher, right?
Nolan Smith at the end, yeah.
Anyways, so now we have to deal.
Georgia linemen.
Yeah, now we have to deal with Micah Parsons in Dallas, and then we have to deal with another rusher in Philly. Thank God we don't have to worry about
Washington.
Yeah,
they're kind of in shambles. They do have Chase Young. They do have Jonathan Allen, but they're stuck kind of in that cycle that the Giants were stuck in for a while.
Yeah, but wasn't Chase Young ready to go?
They didn't renew his option.
So he's going to be done this year.
Well, look what happened with Daniel Jones. We didn't pick up his option, and we just signed him to $40 million.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Chase Young.
Chase Young comes out and has 15 sacks.
The problem with Chase Young is that he's
injury prone
and not reliable. He hasn't played a full season since he's came into the league.
You're right.
That's their problem.
But
and who's their starting quarterback now? Didn't they just?
I don't know. Can you look that? Because they got Heineke's gone. I think they're going to go with that kid out of North Carolina, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
I mean, look at this. I mean, yeah, Sam Howell. Depth chart has Sam Howell, Jake Fromm, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh God.
That's looking like
the Mike Glennon days of the Giants.
Yeah, this is rough.
That's tough, but you never know.
I mean, Sam Howell, all power to you, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But it doesn't look like they have a definite starter at this point.
Sam Howell, good luck with Deonte Banks and Adoree Jackson. That's all I'll say, buddy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
buddy.
I'm not worried about the Commanders.
He's going to be like young Sam Darnold out there. I was seeing ghosts.
What do you say about So the NFC, I kind of have like a good picture of how the NFC is going to end up.
You want to do way too early predictions?
Way too early.
Because
we could talk about the Knicks for like 20 minutes. So we have like 10 minutes to talk about this. What do you think is going to happen? The NFC, we got our division winners. I assume I'll go first. We'll assume that Eagles win the NFC East, and then coming out of the North is I mean,
let me pull it up.
Yeah, let's see.
Excuse me.
So right here. So all right. So what I basically have is, I mean, I don't know. The North is kind of
wide open. Will you say?
I don't know if it's wide open, but they have a lot of.
So my way too early prediction out of the North.
I just don't know, especially with
Lions.
Especially with what happened in Green Bay with Rodgers. Like, is Julian Love going to fulfill anything? They had an okay draft. They hate drafting wide receivers.
Yeah, they never draft.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, you have a brand new quarterback.
They were all there, and all the wide receivers are there still.
He needs weapons, and you're just sitting there doing nothing. I don't get it. The Bears might be good. Who knows what Justin Fields is going to do? The Vikings are still good, I guess.
I'm not sold on Justin Fields. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm sorry.
I think he's crazy.
They got him
he's
some
crazy
weapons.
athletic and crazy.
They got him some weapons, but I don't know if he has enough with the legs to win games. He makes it exciting and it looks flashy and it looks fun, but winning games is a whole nother thing.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I just feel like, yeah, they're so exciting to see. Like he's so exciting to play against, and watching him play last season, especially, like, his team was bad, but he's so athletic. So, anyways, I'll go with you with the Lions. I think the Lions are probably the best team coming out of the North now.
They really,
especially with the uncertainty in Green Bay.
They really built a lot. They had a really good offseason. Like their draft picks, they got that guy Gibbs at Alabama. He catches, he runs, does a little bit of everything. I'm really excited.
Out of another toss up, but I think this is kind of obvious. Like,
I think it's the Saints out of the South.
Yeah, I was going to say it's either the Saints or the Panthers. I mean, the Buccaneers had a complete collapse.
Yeah.
I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Kyle Trask, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
And then the Falcons. Falcons might be good.
Maybe. I mean, Arthur Smith, I do like what he does with offenses. He got his guy Bijan Robinson.
It's going to stink that one of these players is going to make the playoff. One of these teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
It really doesn't. Like, one of these teams is definitely making the playoffs, and I hate.
No, they have like one team has to make.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're gonna, they have to. It's
what if like
this team's like all these.
What
teams
if Bryce
suck.
Young comes out and it's just like a stud, just like Carolina's going crazy.
Like, who do they have though? Like, realistic, like he doesn't have.
They got rid of DJ Moore. I don't know.
He doesn't have weapons.
I don't know. No, I think it's the Saints. I think you got Jarvis Landry. Michael Thomas is coming back. Olave had a good rookie year. Derek Carr is going to sling it for 4,000 yards. Alvin Kamara is still there. Stay healthy. Defense has some gaps, but you got Cam Jordan, the vet, holding it down.
So the four. So we have the three so far. So we have Saints. Saints win the South.
Lions
win the North, and
Eagles win
the East. So in the West, I think it's undoubtedly.
I don't know about
undoubtedly going to be the Niners.
Who's playing quarterback for the Niners? Answer me that. Brock Purdy's hurt. He's beat up. He's not starting the season healthy. What did you see that you liked last year from Trey Lance? Because he lost to the Bears first game of the season. The Bears, who ended up the worst team in the NFL.
I'm weighing my options. Like, you're talking about the Cardinals, who are absolute shambles.
It's not the Cardinals.
What? No. So what do you think it is?
It's the Seahawks.
It's the Seahawks?
It's the Seahawks.
With who?
With Geno.
Again?
Damn Smith, comeback player of the year.
I think it was a 1 year.
Comeback player of the year, Geno Smith.
Yeah, comeback player of the year, not comeback player of the decade. Like, he's done this year.
No, he got him money. He got signed.
He's done this year.
They got that Kenneth Walker. They got Devin Witherspoon in the draft. They got that Diggs. Wait, what's his name?
We're forgetting
Quadre. No. Who was the really good cornerback they had last year that almost beat out Sauce? Tyreek Woolen. Yeah, he had a great rookie year.
Tyreek Woolen, yeah.
I feel like
the Niners defense is significantly better.
They lost their defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. Not saying that it'll be a huge
but how much talent they have on that line is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Bosa.
I mean, you're forgetting they also have CMC. They don't even have to throw the ball.
Debo.
They have CMC, Debo, and Ayuk, and they're just gonna chip the ball back every time. They're gonna do like jet sweeps.
I don't know, man. All
right, we disagree on that one. We'll move to the AFC.
All right, so what if we say? So what is it? 2 wildcard teams, right? Or 3? 2.
2 wildcard teams. I got Giants.
Giants are 1. And then I think the 49ers are the other. Can we say that? Can we at least say that?
Sure, I agree with you.
The Seahawks and the Niners will both make the playoffs.
Sure.
We think so?
Sure.
All right.
I agree with you on that. The AFC.
AFC?
Let's move. We'll go from the East since we're here.
Jets, Jets.
I hate that. I hate that I'm going to say this, but
they're making it. They are.
They're
Aaron Rodgers.
Win the division. I mean, if Josh Allen has anything to say about it, they won't. But I really think they're going to win.
You mean Josh Turnover Allen?
I really think they're going to win the division. The Tua's brain dead. Mac Jones is terrible.
Did you see the memes about like Mac Jones and the other AFC East quarterbacks?
Who knows? But Mac Jones just got a new offensive coordinator, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and the Patriots, well-coached team. Bill Belichick can never.
It's a good division. It really is a good. It really
division. Is.
It's always been a good division.
But the Patriots, the Jets are my pick to come out of the AFC East. I think they are inspired. Aaron Rodgers brings so much life. You saw everyone was tweeting. His teammates were so happy that he's there. And even if he plays in New York for just 1 year, Nico, this team is winning the AFC East.
The Jets aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
They're winning the AFC East.
They're not going to make the playoffs this year.
They are winning the AFC
No, they're not going to do it. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. All this hype around a 42-year-old who's making 40.
He's not 42.
Whatever.
Dude.
40 years old. He's making $51 million a year. Did you see that thing I sent you last week? So if anyone's wondering, next year the Jets are going to owe Aaron Rodgers $107 million in 1 year. $170.55 million in 1 year because of incentives and his contract and bonuses. That's that year. So not this year, next year, the last year of his contract, he's going to make $107 million, and he's going to drive the Jets clean of all their money and then dip.
Yeah, but dude, if they win a Super Bowl this year, that'd be crazy.
How are we going to say they won a Super Bowl? They didn't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they had Zach Wilson and Mike White, dude. They got Aaron Rodgers, the 2-time MVP, Super Bowl champ.
I just don't. I mean, do you see them winning a Super Bowl?
Aaron Rodgers needed a fresh start.
Let's talk about this. All right, we have the Jets winning the East. In the West, I think I'm gonna go the Chiefs again, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Chargers will make the wild card.
I don't know, dude.
What about the South?
I might look.
Oh my god!
I might look stupid.
Oh my god! I forgot.
I might look stupid, but dude, the Denver Broncos got Sean Payton. Russell Wilson still there. I know last year was a complete wash for them. It was terrible, but I like Sean Payton. I really do. I think.
So you think the Chargers aren't making the playoffs this year? What about the Raiders?
No, Raiders are not.
So, all right. So in the South, Jags.
Yeah, the Jags are up and up, and they only got better. And Trevor Lawrence is really coming into his own.
And then in the North,
I don't see anyone else from the South being a wild card either, though. The Titans, I think Tannehill's on the decline.
I mean, they just got Will Levis. Titans just got Will Levis.
Derrick Henry might not even be on the Titans to start the season.
Colts are on the up. They got Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Texans are looking.
But even if
these, I feel like the three teams are rebuilding.
Yeah, the Jags,
especially the Titans, are going to have to really rebuild once they lose Derrick Henry. Jags are undoubtedly the winner of that division.
I think so.
In the North, the Bengals.
I was going to say Ravens.
The Bengals.
Look at how good that offense.
OBJ is going to be out for the rest of the season.
They got Zay Flowers, Bateman.
They got Antonio Brown too, right?
No, that was not real.
That was a joke.
That was not real.
Okay, I figured.
And then on defense, they're strong too. They got that guy Roquan Smith from the Bears. Great
you think
linebacker.
They're going to beat the Bengals?
Baltimore's a tough place to play, dude. This is a very gritty, tough division. I like the Ravens. I do believe in Lamar. He got paid. He's going to be happy. They made the playoffs last year without Lamar towards the end.
Who do you think? Who do you think is the two wild cards?
Bills.
Bills, Bengals. It's the only right. The Broncos don't make the playoffs.
That means the Chargers don't either.
Broncos don't make the playoffs. Chargers
Wait, no,
don't make
there's 3 wild card teams.
3.
Chargers.
Yeah.
3. Bengals. Bills.
Chargers. Chargers.
Actually, I'm gonna say something crazier.
Can I be honest? I'm looking at this like that means the Dolphins miss it. The Pats miss it. The Titans miss it.
I have the Dolphins in. Bills missing the playoffs.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know, but you need a hot take in there.
Did you see who they just picked up? They love picking up old running backs.
Who they get?
They got what's it called?
What's his name? Fred.
Latavius Murray.
Okay, yeah, he was like
they
Raven
just have like they like
a Saint.
I'm gonna read their running back depth chart. Damian Harris, James Cook, Naheem Hines, Latavius.
The Bills you're talking about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Ravens.
No, the Bills. The Ravens had Latavius Murray.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I was confused.
And then the Broncos.
So the Bills got James Cook. Okay, he's like more
James Cook, Damian Harris, Naheem Himes, and
Damian
Latavius
Harris
Murray.
is a good
All
pickup.
4 of them are backups.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. The Bills hate running backs. As much as the Packers hate wide receivers, the Bills hate running backs.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
I just think it's ridiculous. But let's talk about the Knicks.
All right, let's get into it.
15 left.
Yeah, we don't have to take it the whole time either.
Before we start about the new before Yankees, I don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk about them.
I don't want to talk about them. Let's just forget about it. I'm going to the game tonight. I'll let you know how that is.
All right, let me know.
But Knicks, very excited. Really good series
against the Cavs.
The Cavs.
They played phenomenal.
Against the Heat, game 1. Talk about it. I don't know what to say.
Not my favorite, Nico. Really not my favorite. I thought they looked discombobulated on offense. They were missing every single 3-point shot. I have the numbers in here. Where'd they go? They went 7 of 34 on 3-pointers. 7. You're not going to win shooting like that. Everyone was scared to shoot.
You know why? I feel like, like you bring this up, and I understand it. In game 5 and game 6, Obi Toppin actually played very well. He was actually shooting from like he was doing a very.
He played well yesterday too.
He played well yesterday.
And where was he in the last 10 minutes of the game? He was on the bench.
That's it.
Thibs got out coached. He got out coached.
I don't know if it's out coached. I think we're in a really bad spot with Julius Randle out. I think him being hurt, especially in the playoffs, is really hurting because we lose that dynamic of that ISO play that he brings. Like he could beat anyone one-on-one. I really believe that. And especially since he's out, you can kind of give leeway to Obi Toppin, which puts more pressure on Brunson and RJ and even Mitchell Robinson. Like, how did Mitch do?
But I thought Obi played well. I wanted to see Obi in the game down the stretch. Josh Hart looked frustrated. A lot of fouls down the end. Mitchell Robinson had 7 points, 14 boards, no assists. He had 2 blocks. 7 and 14, not bad. I'd like to see, but he had a minus 13, plus minus. Hartenstein on the bench was plus 6. So that's Mitch being a little sloppy. I don't know.
But I feel like he had such a great outing against the Cavs
really
too.
Did.
Like he was
against
really
like his
our offensive rebounding against the Cavs was like insane. Like we really were beating them on all sides of the ball. We were controlling the tempo, which the Cavs hate, and we were doing it quick. And it was a very good series. And I know I was having a little bit of like. I was kind of scared coming into this series.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Butler's hot, Bam is hot, and Gabe Vincent out of nowhere, whoever that is.
Seriously.
Like 20 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds.
Good game. Really good game.
Really good game.
They mesh really well. Eric Spoelstra is a really good coach, and Jimmy just has that dog mentality.
I mean, they're also missing Tyler Hero. Like I thought it was going to be at least a little bit easier, but they took back home court with that win.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we win.
We need a big win tomorrow. Hopefully Julius is back. He was out dribbling before the game. But like you said, Nico, we do need him back. RJ had a good game. 26, 9 boards, 7 assists. Jalen Brunson, 25 points. But what gets me, Nico, he's 0 for 7 from 3. And down the stretch, he's chucking up 3-pointers. Couldn't get one to go,
listen,
man.
I think that was just it was a real frustrating game. Like it really was. Like watching it, it felt frustrating. They were frustrated,
right? Yeah, the fouls at the end looked like frustration fouls.
Like I'll give it credit. Forget about Jimmy Butler and like what they do offensively. Their defense is kind of like it's very good. It really is. They have speed and size, and
and that elbow shot that Jalen Brunson loves to take, where he sneaks into the elbow. They were shutting that down.
Who would they put on him?
They had a mix of Vincent,
because I feel like a lot of people who were guarding him were a lot bigger than he was.
Lowry was on him for a little bit. Strus was on him for a little bit.
Like if you have,
and I think maybe Caleb Martin was on him for a little bit.
Especially when you have players especially like what the Heat have. Kyle Lowry is having a terrible postseason and even a pretty bad season in general.
He had 18 points last game, bro. He had a good game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like he's had you look at their last series against the Bucks, like he had a terrible series. But now all of a sudden he's doing good. Like we just have to figure.
He knows MSG, years on Toronto, playing here. Like he knows the atmosphere. He's a good vet. Oh, man, it was a really frustrating game. That's the best way to sum it up. Like you said, it really was. And towards the end of the game, when we had a chance to come back, to mount a comeback, frustration foul after frustration foul.
And, I mean, we were up, but you didn't even put it down here. Out of nowhere, Kevin Love Kevin Love's like, hey, I've been in the league 17 years. I'm 40 years old, but let me just like drop buckets on the Knicks. Like he he brought a spark. We were winning for a good majority of the first half.
We got a good comment here. I think the Knicks just faced the reality of a team that could actually shoot the ball consistently. That's a great point. I mean, Donovan was all out of whack against the Cavs. Garland had that one good game and then was silent for the rest of the series. The Heat are going to make shots. They're consistent. Well, every time we played them in the regular season, we did battle. We got to make our shots.
Well, yeah, that's a good point that he brought that up. Like, I feel like especially since the Cavs were struggling in the first series, like from the three mostly. Like in that first game, Donovan Mitchell was cold from three and
ice cold. 11 points in the last game in New York.
Yeah. I mean, that entire series, they really were cold from the three. They really couldn't shoot. But now we're seeing a team who they just came off beating the number 1 seed. Like they're afraid of no one, and they're pulling the trigger, and they're like Jimmy buckets is cash.
They really are afraid of no one. They just beat the Bucks.
I understand Giannis was out, but Giannis was out for like 2 games. He was kind of hurt at the last couple. But I don't know. But I'm way more nervous about playing the Heat than I was the Cavs.
We need Julius back. We need to start making those shots. I'm not in panic mode. I'm not in panic mode. I want to make that clear because we have been kind of hating on the Knicks a little bit here, being very hard on them just because it's the playoffs. But let's be very clear about that. We are not in panic mode. We had a terrible game 2 against Cleveland and then came back to win 3 straight. So I am not worried. Everyone's like, you don't want to go to Miami down. Obviously, I don't want to go to Miami down 0-2, but it's 1 game. We're not 0-2 yet. So that's what Stephen A was on TV this morning. You do not want to go to Miami down 0-2. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But it's only been 1 game. So everybody relax.
Also, like, I think we take game 2 at MSG. I think it's just only right. Thibodeau's a great coach. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And especially if Julius Randle's back, even if he's not, I feel like they find a way defensively because we're getting outscored. Like they're playing great defense and we're getting outscored. We could figure out the offensive part because we move pretty good offensively quick. Like if we bring in Quickly for a little bit too, like he can do it. I know he wasn't really shining through last game either, but
like this
Josh Hart has to lock up. And he didn't really do that game 1, and he was doing it against the Cavs. He's got to lock up.
This Knicks team, though, this whole year throughout the regular season, every time they take a punch and they get knocked down, they get back up. We saw that against the Cavs. Not in panic mode. Obviously, don't want to go to Miami down 0-2, but like I said, it's only been 1 game. Tomorrow, 7:30, game 2. I'll be watching after practice. I'm excited. I'm amped up. Let's go, Knicks.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We can call it here.
Yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks, folks, for a good semester. This was a ton of fun.
Last show of the year. We'll come back in September and bring it back. If you guys are watching, whoever is now, check out the Twitter.
We'll be on there a little more often. It's been kind of crazy with school.
Definitely, yeah. The last week and everything going on with NBA, NHL playoffs. Definitely. I'm kind of in a sad mood with everything happening in the NHL, but I mean, hey, it made me feel better last night. The greatest team in NHL history just went down in the first round.
How about that? The Boston.
Go Cats, Joe. Let's go.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Who is that?